everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Redskins going up against the Bears. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you much, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Washington Redskins and the Chicago Bears. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Bears team entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, it's been a great start to the season. Back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6'2" QB out of North Carolina, former number 2 overall pick. It's Mitchell Trubisky.
I loved his quote during the week. If I were a defensive back, I would have wanted to play against me last week as well.
Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now Trubisky to throw on second. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Room to run past midfield. That one brought in by his tight end, Adam Shaheen. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well. And he's got it.
He'll buy some time right. And he's got room. Now Trubisky lost the football, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Trubisky will throw. His throw incomplete. 10 yards still left on second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
And that's the way you get an opening drive going. Pick up the first down, convert on 3rd down, and how about doing it old school style, doing it with a running play.
Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Tyreek Hill his second touchdown on the season. And the Bears take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. And he's got it to make it 7-0 in favor of the Bears. Lutz now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. They go play action here on first down. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. Touchdown, Washington! Jamison Crowder, his second touchdown on the season. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit with play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that? He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Derek Barnett in there to sack him for a loss of 6. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack. Although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Now Trubisky to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. They'll begin the drive with Howard. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Cousins now from the 50. Oh, it stays up. And that is incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tressway to punt it away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means
pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down. Derek Barnett in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. And with that, they're now out of timeouts. There's still plenty of time remaining here in this second quarter. Got his target, Samuel. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Now Trubisky on first down. And he fires one incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Shifts past him at the 45. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now it's Trubisky. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Larry Ridley is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Eluding the pressure right. His throw caught right around the 6. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
And this is their third drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
On second down, Johnson. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout call as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Cousins on 3rd and 2. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4. First down now, but the clock continues to move. On 1st and 10, Cousins. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set him back for second down. Cousins trying to get his guys up to the line of scrimmage quickly. Cousins now on second down. And a penalty flag down as he gets only about a yard. Now let's listen in on the call. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that could be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain there, and they've got a ways to go now on third down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
And how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Johnson with a burst, a first down and more. And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what and the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Vincent Valentine breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
And incomplete here on third down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case,
now heavy Redskin pressure, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Touchdown, Redskins.
Partners, you well know every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. On first down, Trubisky, flush to his right. And some room to work. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. 2nd and 10. It's Trubisky again. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Redskins touchdown. Point after now from Catanzaro. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
2nd and 10 now. It's Trubisky. On the run, he'll let this go deep. And, oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but, boy, he's playing really well.
Following the interception, Cousins. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Johnson running right, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed a big hit for a loss. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Now Cousins, and that is incomplete.
When we talk with people about what we think the most important quality for an NFL quarterback to possess, what do people usually say?
Arm strength, and he showed the arm strength there.
Yeah, pretty good bullet pass he threw, but he wasn't accurate, was he?
No.
Listen, you like mobility, but accuracy, first and foremost, is what a quarterback needs. He didn't possess it on that play.
Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Now it's the backup Smith. Escaping the pressure right. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to him every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's a first down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a fourth down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, pass the sticks, first down. Now it's Crowder. Back now at Soldier Field. It's the Redskins with the football and the lead as we start the fourth. The first down carry here for Johnson. And good pressure defensively to stop him for a loss of a couple. Now there's also a flag to go with it.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. So that one will get him halfway to the first down marker. 7 yards makes it 3rd and 7 now.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. And now before this first down play, we're going to get... Following the fumble recovery, Smith eluding the pressure right. That is incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
On 2nd and 10, Smith over the middle, the tight end Shaheen with it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. First down and goal to go from the 7. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Adam Shaheen, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears have cut it to within a score. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Lutz now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Defensively, no doubt they need a quick stop. Offensively here, maybe do you put it in the air on 2nd down, or do you go ahead and keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving?
A lot of people would ask that question, partner, because sometimes throwing the ball might actually be the path of least resistance. But in this case, it's a matter of trust. How much do you trust your quarterback? Because you throw the ball and it goes awry, smart as a coach.
Yeah, then you stop that clock. Time for a break. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Johnson running left. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. Yeah, that's a pretty good one for the old average. 68 yards on the punt there. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. Geno Smith getting ready to go again here on offense. Now, here we go, partner. It's his time to shine.
And I've yet to meet a quarterback who had any type of greatness, any type of longevity in the league, that didn't secretly love this type of an opportunity. To be the focal point, have a chance to take a team all the way downfield and win the game, that's when they get their stripes.
Yeah, that's when they get their stripes, and he has to take them the length here. He's back to throw. Flush to his right. And this one's incomplete. He's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
So another big shot dodged there defensively. Now they're just one more incompletion away from salting away this victory, and I know this feeling. They're almost giddy, but they have to stay focused and locked in. They can make one big mistake and throw it all the way.
On the left side, a catch by White. 26 yards on the pickup there. And it'll be a Chicago 1st down.
Oh, that's a big pickup right there. That play might have saved them. Now they got to get to the line of scrimmage quick. They've got to spike it.
He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there with time running out. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game.
The receivers have been running them ragged. Maybe some tired legs in the secondary, maybe some tired legs in the pass rush. Didn't get to him, and look what resulted. A touchdown, tie game. They've got a chance to take the lead.
Back to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. He's at the 50. So they're unable to stretch it to a 3-point lead. Now you got to be careful on the kickoff because a field goal obviously beats you.
Definitely, and that's why they went for 2. They wanted to make sure a field goal wouldn't beat them. Now they're in a position where they've got to cover well and make sure they don't get into range and put one through the post. Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Cousins just going to take this one down to a knee and end it.